Everybody did had to do that. There was at one point in the mid-'70s, towards
late
like
70s.
70, 77, 78, the Kinks did it with Superman. I want to be like Superman. The Stones did it with Some Girls, and the other one they did that they ate a bag of dicks in fucking Europe.
Kiss was on the fence. Kiss was like...
You had to put a beat out that was danceable.
Yeah.
Something that you could dance to. And I could just imagine going into Kiss and people like those bands and saying that, like, your number one hit has to have something that they can play at the clubs.
They actually thought that the future of rock and roll was going to be infused with lots of disco. So Kiss, like Paul Stanley and Gene, they made a decision. Because after, that was 1978, and in 79, they put out Dynasty, which had I Was Made for Loving You, Sure Know Something, very disco. Very disco. Yeah, and then they had that whole album after that was super disco as well, Kiss Unmasked. So they thought that the trend was, they thought they had to make a move. It was a calculated move. We got to go more disco than rock. We got to, while everyone else was getting heavier. Because in 78, Van Halen busted out and they weren't trying to do disco. And then Ozzy came out with, Blizzard of Oz. And some bands went heavier. Some bands chose to go more disco. And Kiss chose disco for a bit. And they went south and just completely turned into like a joke.
I have not seen this. About 3 weeks ago, I got home. You know, when you come home from the comedy store, you have a bag of edibles and reefer and fucking pills. They give you
all that shit from Speed Weed.
All that
and
shit from Speed
Absolute
Weed, my man
extracts.
Gino. Yeah, they just absolutely
they hook
just
it
take
up.
care of you. So sometimes you have that bottled water with you in the car. So as I'm on Laurel Canyon, I'm popping shit, right? I'm popping whatever they gave me. Pills, edibles, I'm headed home. By the time I get over the dry land, which is once you hit Ventura, that's when it starts getting little tingles and shit. But I'm all right. I'm 3/4 there. If it hits me too quick, I just stop at Yum Yum Donuts and get a bran muffin to calm that fucking savage down. You know what I'm saying? A couple nights ago, put on If This Is Love by Van Halen. It's going to say live from Seattle. When MTV first came out, this was one of the first videos in their rotation. I don't know if you remember it. Me and my wife were just talking.
Great song.
And it's on the second side of one of the one with Mean Streets on it.
The one with Unchained too. Fair Warning.
Fair Warning is one of my all-time favorite bands.
Great album.
You know.
Not Oakland?
Yeah, Oakland. Whatever the fuck it is. Seattle, Oakland, whatever.
Is he singing with the bottle of Jack Daniels?
It is. Like when you watch this, you go, you know what? This was the best Van Halen ever was. I mean, I know they made a lot more money with Sammy Hagar and the albums and Sammy Hagar, but if you ever have a chance, put on Van Halen, So This Is Love, from wherever the fuck.
612 and 81 Oakland
612 81. This was actually a video that was on MTV every hour on the hour.
Oh, dude, me and Joe Rogan met him at the Comedy Store, dude, like 2006 or something like that. And all he wanted to do was talk about like chicks, the chicks he got on the road. And he just couldn't stop talking about the good old times. He said that he would give his roadies a backstage passes, like a stack of them. And they would put their initials on them. And their goal was to go out and find the hottest chicks in the crowd, give them the passes, and if he ended up having sex with them, and he'll give $200 to whoever initial was on that pass. Isn't that brilliant? For someone who's single, you know what I mean? It's a brilliant idea.
Oh, fuck.
Who doesn't want to go backstage? You know what I mean? He said some of them went with their boyfriends.
Oh, yeah. And dropped their boyfriends.
Yeah, so they're like, I'm just going to go backstage just to say hi for a little bit. Just for a little bit. And he said he would see the boyfriends just like waiting for him up in the stands.
Crying. They just fucking spent their milk money on a ticket. Dude, and the girls
so
backstage.
Disrespectful.
Just blowing them. Because in those days, there's no conversation. You just blow him. He makes Harvey Weinstein look like a fucking preacher.
Yeah.
That guy, he just takes his dick out. Yeah. They just get on the bus. They suck it. They give him a kiss. And there was no pictures in those days.
Can you imagine?
So there was no proof.
Can you imagine all the Me Too's that would come out of like David Lee Roth ran for like government official?
Let me tell you something. It's really interesting that you said that when the Twisted Sister movie came out. Rudy Sarzo called one day. We were talking. And he goes, "What'd you think of it?" And you know, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I told everybody I thought it was a goof, but I enjoyed it. At least I enjoyed it because they're only going to get better now. These stories are only going to get better.
Yeah.
They're going to make them better and better and better, and they're going to be fucking phenomenal. But he goes, you know, what's really crazy if the Me Too movement, he goes, this was beyond Me Too.
Yeah.
That music industry, all those years, they were beyond Me Too.
Yeah.
There was no conversation. There was no pictures. There was no nothing. It was your word against me and my fucking roadies.
Yeah.
I went back there and they what are you talking about? You went back there with your teddies out. And, you know, it was fucking crazy. Those girls don't even, they didn't even raise their hands in the 70s. They didn't even raise their hands. Not that I was a part of it or I saw it, but I heard, and we've all heard, we bumped into different people that have talked. Bro, Pauly Shaw. Pauly Shaw used to get his dick sucked like nothing. You know, when Pauly Shaw in 1990, when he came into your town, Warlock. Remember Warlock?
Warlock was his
From the
nickname
store.
or something?
Yeah, great guy.
Oh, Warlock from the store.
Warlock.
Okay.
Warlock was the guy with the passes.
Okay, that was his partner.
Three blondes.
Yeah, if I saw his face, I would.
Yeah, you want to
the
go
name
up
is
to the.
familiar.
You want to go. It takes a certain type of animal
Yeah.
to go up to women and go, "Can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah.
You're Mr. Roth's type. Would you like to go back there and say hello? No cameras allowed. Leave the phone outside."
Yeah.
Takes a certain animal to go in there. And it takes a certain woman to think she's going to go in there. I mean, in a perfect world, you're going to go in there and they don't want nothing from you. But it's not a perfect world. They're either going to pass you around. There was an episode of Law & Order last week where a band was huge. Then they went down over the years and they were playing like bars now.
Yeah. Most bands.
But the guy was the pyrotech guy. Made the pyros too strong and lit the bar on fire and 11 people died. And the chick that stuck up for him was a groupie. She said he couldn't have been him because I was in the van giving him a head and all the other people were like, no, you weren't. You were standing next to us. But that was just, and they even said to him, did this usually happen to you? And he goes, it happens all the time.
We're going in like fucking Marines, you understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.